These long dog days of summer, I mean, we just made it through a heat wave. Mama was parched through this heat wave. I was hitting up Dunkin' every single day, and I will continue to probably for the rest of my days, but especially this summer. Dunkin' is helping everyone stay cool this summer with its lineup of refreshers. These drinks are packed with bold, fruity flavors and served ice cold. It's amazing. Dunkin' refreshers are the perfect afternoon pick-me-up. I like to start my morning with them personally, and then sometimes I go back for a second one because I'm just feeling crazy. They come in a variety of delicious flavors, including fan favorites mango pineapple and strawberry dragon fruit. And then for a limited time, there's black cherry and there's pink pineapple. I'm going to tell you something right now, and it's a bold claim, let me tell you, but I stand behind it. Pink pineapple will change your life. It is so good. It has me feeling like I'm sitting in a pool, resort side, just living, honey. It's so yummy. Try your favorite flavor with green tea, sparkling water, lemonade, or Dunkin's all-new limeade. I haven't tried the limeade yet, but I'm going to. Usually I get my drinks made with green tea and occasionally lemonade, but I do really like the green tea. Or if you don't want to build your own, try one of Dunkin's curated refreshers like the Cherry Lime Ricky or the Ultimate Pink Daydream. The Cherry Lime Ricky, scrumptious. I could drink like 3 of these a day. They're so freaking yummy. Head to Dunkin' today and find your favorite refresher. Dunkin' refreshers contain less than 1% fruit juice. Limited time offer. Chilling crime cases are mysterious, but finding coverage shouldn't be. With the State Farm Personal Price Plan, you have options and can personalize your plan to help create an affordable price so you can get back to cracking all of life's bigger cases. Talk to a State Farm agent today to learn how you can choose to bundle and save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Head to statefarm.com to get a quote. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Hi, Ryan Reynolds here for Mint Mobile. Are you looking for a beach read this summer? May I suggest your big wireless bill? It's got suspense, mystery, a slightly flat, emotional arc, and a shocking twist where you realize you've been overpaying the entire time. Fortunately, though, Mint's story is better. Every plan, $15 a month, even unlimited. That's it. Happy ending, 0 tears.
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/save.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12-month plan required. $15 per month equivalent. Taxes and fees extra. Initial plan term only. Greater than 50 gigabytes may slow when network is busy. See terms.
Hey weirdos, I'm Ash.
And I'm Alaina.
And this is an Alaina Morbid, but it's a main episode, so obviously.
So it's all of our morbids.
It's everybody's morbid equally.
This is a case that is kind of like near and dear to my soul.
Near and dear to your soul, okay.
It is.
Because
and it happened
Boston?
the year that you were born.
It did happen the year I was born, so it's actually near and dear to my heart, and I'll tell you why when we get to that part.
Love that.
Okay.
Because this was the first one. This is one of the first cases that I remember, like, vividly remember being fascinated by.
Yeah, I get that. I
And
remember
I think it's because it was in Boston too, so it horrified me.
Listening to this case like afterwards. I always thought it was an interesting case, and then when you brought it up, I was like, I don't know that case, and then the more you told me about it, I was like, oh wait, I do know that case.
Yeah. Wait a second.
Hold up.
In case you're wondering what case we're talking about, it is the case of the Swedish nanny, Karina Holmer.
Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun. It's a very intense case. It's crazy. It's tragic. It's unsolved.
I know.
Unfortunately,
we hate an unsolved, but you just got to do
an
them.
unsolved. But you know what? Our guest tomorrow also hates an unsolved.
That was a good teaser.
It is. See, we were trying to come up with a way to tease our guest because we're not going to tell you who it is.
No.
We have a very exciting guest for tomorrow, and what we're going to do today is we're going to go through the Karina Holmer case. We're going to give you all the deets, all the nitty-gritty. We're going to stop short of talking about the suspects and the theories because, again, this is unsolved. And we're going to save that for tomorrow to discuss with our special guest.
With our honored guest.
You
bring your family dishonor. Any Mulan reference. Thank you and good night. First, before we get into this case, we do have to talk about our live shows because we're supposed to. So don't get mad at me. June 2nd, we're going to be at the Good Nights Comedy Club in Raleigh, North Carolina.
I'm betting we won't be there June 2nd, but you know what? I'm hoping we will.
Way to be negative, but you're probably right.
I'm just being realistic. COVID is scary. So
yeah, COVID
you know
is
what?
scary.
We'll listen as it comes. We're going with it.
Yep, June 3rd, the next day, probably won't be there, but let's say it for shits and giggles, the Comedy Zone in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Charlotte. Either way, Raleigh and Charlotte, we're going to see you at some point. So don't
Exactly.
worry.
Then, at Talia Hall in Chicago, we'll be there on October 11th for 2 shows.
Oh, we will so be there on October 11th for 2 shows.
Be there or be square.
It's going to be spooky and delicious.
Then, July 8th, we're going to be at the Comedy Works South in Greenwood Village, Colorado. I hope we end up there. I feel like July will be bueno.
I feel like July feels good to me.
It does. It feels safer.
Yeah. It feels warm. It feels less infectious. It has a good feeling about it.
July 8th, the Wilbur Theater in Boston.
The Wilbur. Come on. Let's make it happen,
If we finally
guys.
booked the motherfucking Wilbur and then now we can't go, she's going to be upset. She's already got to miss her birthday. And
I'll
by
be
she, I
displeased.
mean me.
I'll be displeased.
Yeah.
And guys, make sure buy tickets to the Wilbur show because
it's not
regardless
sold out
of
yet.
whether it happens at that time or later, your ticket will transfer. So get tickets to the show so you can be there.
Yes. And then why can't I look at the number 8 and just say August without thinking? I wish I had that ability. August 11th, we will be in Philadelphia at the Punchline Comedy Club.
And we're going to ring the Liberty Bell.
Inside of the Punchline Comedy Club.
Yes.
September 16th, we will be at Washington, D.C. Yeah, we will be at Washington, D.C.
We will be at the Washington, D.C.
At the D.C. Improv. I should have said in the D.C. Improv.
In the D.C. Yes, and monuments.
She
We're
loves
there.
She loves a good monument.
We're so excited for monuments.
Somebody asked during one of our Instagram lives what monument Alaina was excited to see, and she was like, all of them.
All of them.
All of them.
Especially the Lincoln Memorial.
Yeah.
I have nothing
big.
to back that up. I just want to see it.
I said it's big, but all monuments are pretty fucking big.
They
What
are.
an idiot.
Most of them are big.
What a
But
fucking idiot.
I feel like the Lincoln Memorial is like it's got an intensity to it that
It
I need to
does.
see in person.
Because Lincoln did,
Because Lincoln,
Well, anyways, September 23rd, we'll be in Nashville, Tennessee for an early and a late show at Zany's.
Oh my goodness, Nashville, we are coming
Girl.
for you.
And is that where we get the white buffalo sauce?
That is where we get the white buffalo
Or
sauce.
excuse me, is it buffalo
Or
sauce or
white
barbecue?
sauce.
Barbecue.
That's what it is. Sorry.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Okay. And also, I'm going to have to eat some chicken and waffles while I'm there because hunty. A bitch loves chicken and waffles.
We got to do it.
No, I'm going to serve that at my wedding, now that I'm engaged. And then September 24th, Huntsville, Alabama, Stand Up Live. And those are our live shows. That commences my spiel.
Yay! So make sure you're getting tickets to all those shows because they will be moved around if they need to be for COVID-19 stupidity. But, you can come. So get tickets.
It is what
We
it
wanna
is,
see your faces.
I want to see
It might be
your
at the end of
face.
the year, but we want to see you.
Either way, it's going to happen,
It is. It's going to happen. It's inevitable, guys. So let's do this.
Let's get it. Okay, well, without further ado, let's talk about your case.
Yeah, because this might be a long one, but since I'm going to stop short of the suspects, it might not be like as crazy long.
Should I go sit on one more pillow? Because I'm only sitting on one right now.
I think you'll be good. So Karina Holmer was a 19-year-old woman from Sweden in 1996.
Correct.
She was known as a great kid. She was a very free spirit, a very motivated person. She had a love for animals, and she also had a case of wanderlust.
Did you hear that noise?
Yeah, I don't know if you can hear that. It's my neighbor. I was just about to say something mean, but I don't know if my neighbors listen to this podcast. They probably don't, but I don't want to get
Well,
my
now you
house
just said you were going to say
egged.
something mean about them anyway, so.
My neighbor got a motorcycle, and it's neat.
How sweet.
Yay. So Karina Holmer loved animals. She had a massive case of wanderlust. She wanted to travel the world. She wanted to see what she could see. I mean, neighbors and family said she was very tenacious. She was the kind of kid who you just knew was going to hustle really hard to get where she wanted to go.
We love to see it.
She was dreaming big dreams.
You gotta.
You gotta. So she was actually part of Sweden's kind of their equivalent to like the Boy or Girl Scouts.
Mm-hmm.
But their version over in Sweden is co-ed, unlike the United States, which for some
Because-
reason still segregates our scouts.
Boys are just as good as girls.
It's true. She excelled whenever she put her mind towards something, especially in the scouts. Her father said he said she could have the world in the palm of her hand if she wanted it.
That's really sweet. I hope my dad
Yeah.
says that about me if I ever die before him.
Oh God, that was morbid.
It was,
That
but
was
just
very
keep it on
morbid.
brand, you know?
Yeah, you're just riding that wave. She was always described as an excellent student. She loved artistic endeavors as well. It's kind of rare to have both sides of the brain like that, but she had it.
Oh, is it so rare, Alaina?
It's rare.
You have that too.
And I'm rare.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding. But yeah, she was one of those just rare gems she was smart, she was spunky, she could get down and dirty in the scouts, she was tenacious, she had dreams, she was literally just, she seems like she was just this well-rounded human being that you were just like wanted to hang out with.
So now let's disappoint the shit out of us, huh?
Yeah, now we're really going to take you down. So she won $1,500 on a lottery ticket in Sweden.
Mm-hmm.
I don't exactly know how it works. It's like, I'm not sure like what kind of lottery that is or anything like that. If it's like a scratch ticket, a lottery ticket, I don't know exactly. Everything you look up is kind of vague about it.
Okay.
And with this case, because it's unsolved, there's a lot of questions about it. There's a lot of information, but it's like the same information over and over again.
Right.
You can do a lot of digging and find some little bits and pieces, but some pieces just have yet to come together.
Okay.
So she won $1,500 on this lottery ticket. She was like, this is it. This is my time. She was done with school and she was considering going to college, but she was like, you know what? Before I do that, I want to see the world as much as I can, and then I'll settle down into my studies.
Hell yeah.
So she used that money to travel to the United States.
Mm-hmm.
And this was in March of 1996. So Ash was not even in the world yet.
You know, I always am like, well, I wasn't even born yet, so I decided
Yeah.
not to say it this time, but you got me.
You were close to being born.
3 months away.
Yeah. March 1996, she settles into Boston. She wanted to go there for its nightlife and its opportunities to work as an au pair.
Okay.
So it's common for those looking to become an au pair to go through an agency and secure themselves the proper documents to come over and to
Right.
work.
Right.
You know, these agencies will get them a visa, they'll train them for the job, they'll also look into the potential employer's background. This ensures safety and quality on both sides of the job because they're also going to look into the potential au pair's background. They're really going to make sure that everything's on the up and up. Karina didn't go through an agency for this.
Oh, she didn't.
Which is odd. Yeah.
Huh.
So she came to the United States with no visa and a fake ID.
Okay.
She used an illegal agency that skips a lot of the important steps of obtaining a job here, and this agency was run by Tej Sundin. And he was a Swedish guy who ran an unlicensed agency that he was fined for several times in Sweden.
He just never decided to make it legit. He was like, I think
Well,
it's fine.
I think he was just running it was like a scam. Like he was
Okay.
just shooting these girls through this agency just to get them over there, and then he's like, well, I got their money.
Yikes.
He ended up shutting the agency down after Karina's murder, which nice that it took a murder.
You know, bad press and all.
Yeah, like real cool. He claimed that he had sent 6 other Swedish au pairs to work for the family that she ended up working for, but that's just what he says. That's never been confirmed.
And the family
Now-
has never said anything like that.
Well, no, and we're going to get to them because there was also this family also has a few other au pairs that knew the family, especially the father,
Uh-huh.
and don't have great things to say about
Okay.
his tendency to be a little too touchy-feely.
You know,
Just
Yeah.
saying. So through this illegal agency, she was placed with photographer Frank Rapp and his artist/painter wife, Susan Nichter.
What a duo.
Right? I know, they're fancy. She was going to be their au pair. They were very wealthy. They lived in Dover in a huge home.
Oh, honey.
Yeah, exactly. They had 2 children that she was going to care for. And Dover, in case nobody knows, is wealthy as fuck.
Dover is out here big pimpin'.
It is. In 2015, it was the 4th richest town in the country in the United States. And in 2019, it was number 2 in Massachusetts as the wealthiest.
Shoot. You know, I don't even think I've ever been to Dover.
It's absurd. It'll just take you down a few
My
pegs.
kind doesn't belong.
So she worked in their home during the week. She did the cooking, cleaning, caring for kids, just things an au pair does.
Right.
She was apparently great at it, according to Frank and Susan. They don't really talk about her that much anymore. So it's very rare to get any kind of info out of them.
Yeah.
But they did say that their children loved her.
Okay.
She was great with the kids, which is really all that matters in an au pair.
I was just going to say.
On the weekends, they gave her run of Frank's photography studio on A Street in South Boston. So it was a studio apartment that Frank had in South Boston. He had this studio apartment as his photography studio, and he was allowing Karina to live there on the weekends, kind of, for free.
Just to get like a break.
Yeah, which, okay. I'm going to withhold what I have to say for now, and I think we'll discuss it tomorrow.
Can I just ask a question? Do you feel as though
suspects?
he might have been there on the weekends?
Yeah, I just feel like it's kind of a weird arrangement. But again, I'm not going to, I wasn't there. I don't know. Maybe
Wasn't necessarily a weekend off.
Maybe he handed her the keys and she got to live there and that was that. Or, we don't know.
Okay.
But basically, that was her place to stay and to use as her, everybody would meet there on the weekends before going out to the clubs.
Love it.
She was a pretty big partier on the weekends, which, she's, 20 years old at this point.
I was going to say, I can't say shit about this. My party phase just ended.
Yeah, and this has nothing to do with, she was a partier, you know what I mean? No, that's just, she liked to go out to the clubs. That's what, and honestly, it was there was a big group of, Swedish au pairs, European au pairs.
Yeah.
That hung out together. They all knew each other. Because they would cling to each other for support, you know what I mean? You're in a totally different country. And they would all meet up and go out to the clubs. This was just a different thing. You're in a different country. You're going to experience the nightlife. And Boston's a big city. So she loved going to the bars and the clubs in Boston. And she held a job during the week. She was allowed to let loose on the weekends. She did her shit during the week. At some point, during the only 4 months that she was in the States before she was murdered. She was only here for 4 months. During these 4 months, she did briefly date a Boston police officer.
Oh, I don't think I've heard that before.
Yeah, there's not a lot known about him. He was cleared very quickly without any muss or fuss of anything. But
weird.
Who knows? So in the time that she was here, she, like I said, had become acquainted with other nannies and au pairs who were working over from Sweden. They all stuck together. They all supported each other. So these were the people that were with her the night that she disappeared.
Okay.
She wrote to her friends and family all the time while she was living here. And she updated them on her work and her experiences, hanging out, saying she had friends and all this good stuff. In the beginning, it was casual, pretty optimistic, her letters to her friends and family over in Sweden. But soon it started turning into, complaints a little bit.
Okay.
Mostly that she was just stressed. She didn't like the amount of cleaning involved in the job, she specifically stated. She was like, I did not know I was going to have to clean this much. I'm sure it was a fucking massive house. So I'm sure
that's
that
the
was
thing. And she's not a maid. She's an au pair.
No, she's an au pair. So I'm sure she's like, I'm doing a lot of cleaning.
She's like, didn't know that wasn't listed in the job description.
She was basically saying she was ready at this point, only 4 months in, she was kind of ready to move on already and was looking for something more than what she had in Boston right now.
Okay.
So then in May, she had written to her friend Ulrika Svensson, and this is what she wrote. Something terrible has happened. I'll reveal more when I get home.
Yikes.
She basically told her friend, I'm elaborate on it when I get back to Sweden. but she never got back to Sweden to tell her what it was.
Oh, that's really fucking haunting. I knew that already, but like,
yeah. It's just hanging in the air that
Yeah.
like something terrible happened. Tell you later.
And
then-
now we'll never know.
And that's it. No one's ever going to know except for her and whoever was involved in this terrible thing. So her parents and some friends said they hadn't heard anything about this terrible thing happening. Like her parents were like, she never said anything to us.
Well, maybe she was like embarrassed and never planned on telling them what it was.
And who knows what it was. So it's like, but she did tell them that she intended to cut her trip to the States short and come back earlier than she had originally planned. So it seems to me something happened.
Yeah.
They all assume she was just tired of the au pair gig and were like, oh, she just wants to come back and do something else. But it sounds like it's adding up to something bad happened. And she was like, I want to get the fuck up out of here.
Yeah.
So later, Frank and Susan, her employers, really only release statements through lawyers. Like, they don't speak about her. Their lawyer, Martin Weinberg, said of these letters, quote, I don't know whether the letters represent her overall feelings, but if those were her feelings, she was able to not have them interfere with the relationship with Frank and Susan's children, which is the cornerstone of any au pair relationship.
So that's saying something good about her.
Yeah, it's saying like if that is how she was feeling, that something terrible happened. She wanted to come home. She didn't want to do this anymore. It wasn't affecting how she was taking care of the kids, which
so that's good
on her.
Right. Especially at 20 to like put your game face on.
To have that like emotional maturity to be able to just be like, I got to do my job.
Yeah.
And she must have really loved the kids too, I'm sure. Like au pairs tend to become very close to the kids because they're with them so much.
Right.
So June 21st was the evening that she disappeared and was not seen again until she was found murdered.
June 21st?
June 21st.
Okay.
She was out at Zanzibar's celebrating because it was during the summer solstice. Now, to us, we're like, cool, summer solstice, fun.
Right.
It's a huge holiday celebration in Sweden. Huge.
Oh, okay. I was like, is that a big deal here? Because
Yeah.
I wasn't aware.
Because here we're just like, cool, a long day. Because
Right.
it's the longest day of the year. So in Sweden, it's a huge celebration of that.
That's fun.
It's often referred to as midsummer. They dance around maypoles. They put greenery on buildings and such. There's a tradition also that says if a girl picks 7 different flowers in silence on midsummer night and puts them under her pillow, she will dream of her future husband.
That's kind of cool. And a bitch is here
Isn't
to
that just
say
fun?
that a bitch would do it.
I know you would.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just fun and whimsy. I love it.
It is. I love a good whimsy.
Exactly. You gotta love some whimsy in your life. And Karina was out with her friends, her au pair friends from Sweden. They're all celebrating this summer solstice. It's like a big deal.
Right.
It's a time to celebrate. So this was a Friday night. The bars in Boston are always hopping on a Friday night, especially a night in summer.
Yep.
We all know this. In 1988, Boston Magazine described Zanzibar's, which is not open anymore. It's on Boylston Street across from Boston Commons, and Boston Magazine described it as, quote, this new dance club is a Banana Republic fantasy, complete with palm fronds, wicker settees, and waitresses in khaki hot pants. The music is numbingly dumb disco for white people who can't keep time. In other words, goofy suburban fun.
Okay. Khaki hot pants?
Sounds fucking awesome.
Do those two words even go together? Khaki
sure do.
and hot?
You know where they come together? At Zanzibar.
Zanzibar? Do you know what it is now?
What is it? I don't know what it is now,
I feel
actually.
like I was actually asking. I feel like I heard that it was Club Cafe, but I could be wrong. That's a gay bar, and it is lots of fun.
Maybe,
But-
actually, I'll have to look that up and tell you for sure on the
Yeah.
next episode. So Karina was loving Zanzibar's. They had gone a few times before this one. That's kind of like the people who went there said that like they knew the Swedish nanny group.
Yeah.
like they came
Because
there
they're
a
probably
lot on
gorgeous and
weekends.
have accents and
They're
like,
all
dress well.
beautiful. Yeah,
Right.
it's like so.
They all wear their
and-
khaki hot pants together.
No way. This night, she was wearing a dark t-shirt with a sparkly silver sweater on top and tight, shiny silver pants.
And that's why this story resonates to me, because a bitch loves
Fancy
some fancy
pants.
pants.
And that's why, too, these, what we'll see is we have a lot of eyewitness testimony, a lot of people saying, I saw her in this place, I saw her in that place. I think that's why these witnesses are taken a little more seriously, because as we know, eyewitness testimony can be unruly.
Shite.
So
Actual shite.
yeah, it can be real, like, unclear. So, but I think the fact that she was wearing such, like, a bright, shiny outfit with shiny silver pants, I think helps a little bit. Because you remember that. So shiny.
Good to know that if I ever went missing on the night of our show, I would easily be identified.
Yeah, you would. They'd be like, her pants.
You hear that, murderer?
So she stood out. So she went there with 3 friends. I found a couple of things that say, like, she went with 3 friends. She went with a bigger group. Everything. Most of the things I saw said 3.
Okay.
She got wasted. I mean,
don't we all? It's Friday night. Time. It's your fucking. You have the next day off. Let's get it, sis. Yeah. Blackout.
And you know what? And again, I'm not pointing this out to, like, shame her in any way, or
it's just facts,
or put any kind of connotation that, like, what happened is in any way her fault or something like that. I just want to put that out there.
Right.
I'm just saying she was definitely intoxicated. By multiple accounts, she was all, like, real down in the So a bartender said he was actually serving her water by the end without her knowledge because she was just too drunk, and he was like, I'm just going to keep giving you water.
We have all been there. Or cranberry juice.
And another bartender suggested, oh, that's so much sugar.
But if you just hand somebody cranberry juice, they think that it's a drink.
Oh, that would fuck them up.
It's a tactic of mine.
That sugar will make it worse. And then another bartender actually suggested to that bartender, they were like, you need to stop serving her, like, right now. Yeah. And that bartender was like, yeah, she's getting water, don't worry about it. But, like, that's how bad it got, that the bartenders were like, yo, you need to take care of that.
Right.
At some point she passed out in the ladies' room.
Oh no.
At another point, an employee said they were told to find a ride for a girl who was passed out on one of the high bar tables. Mm-hmm. And when he took a second to finish something and came back, she was gone. He said this was Karina. He had seen her. So she was passing out everywhere. She was in rough shape.
But you know what? Where were her friends?
I mean, that's what I'm saying.
You don't leave your drunk friends passed out anywhere.
You don't leave your drunk friends, man. She left the club or was escorted out. There was 2 different stories that I think they were getting ready to escort her out, and she left on her own.
Okay.
It was somewhere around 3 a.m. So there was differing reports.
Well, was everything closed at this point?
Yeah, everything's pretty much closed at this point. Yeah. But again, this was 96.
Right.
One report says a male friend of hers who she went to the club with saw her in a gray Mitsubishi outside the club.
Okay.
And that he was like, what the fuck? And he saw 2 men in the car with her. And he was like, hey, like,
no.
Talked to, and he did an interview, and he was like, hey, you come with us. Like, you come back with us.
Right.
And that one of the guys in the car said, quote, get away from the car, you little shit, or I'll crush your fucking head.
That's a lot.
It seems like a disproportionate response.
Sure does.
But, like, go off, I guess. Like,
I'd be like, my friend's in there, so I'll crush your head, but...
Yeah, not a good thing.
Mm-mm.
So other reports from bouncers say she tried to get back in at least once. And then she realized her friends were not outside yet, but they wouldn't let her back in because they won't do that. They're not going to let you back in, especially when you're really intoxicated.
Which I have a problem with. They should at least go back in and get your fucking friend for you.
But I think they should go in and get your friend for you.
I understand not being let back in.
Yeah, I was going to say, because letting back in is a huge liability.
I 100% get that, but you should not be outside by yourself as a male or a female at 3 a.m.
No. I mean, that's a fault on everybody in that situation.
100%.
Too. Like, it's certainly not the bouncer's fault or responsibility to, take care of your ass, but, you know, it would be nice if they would go in and get your friend if you're out there.
I mean, if I was a bouncer, I would.
Yeah. I mean, sure. You're just a nice person, though.
Thank you.
Other reports, in an article about the case, one au pair said foreign au pairs knew each other and they went out together. But they said they would arrive in a pack together, but once they got there, it was like every man or woman for themselves. Like,
okay,
see ya, and that was it.
Right. So they had like an understanding.
They're going to find somebody to leave with or to hang out with or to get drunk with, and that's it. Like, they're not really focused on what the other ones are doing. That's at least what one article said.
Okay.
So she decided, again, in a highly intoxicated state, to wander around trying to get home.
Okay.
This is when witnesses come into play. And again, it's all got to be taken with a little grain of salt because eyewitness testimony is real tough, as we know.
Right.
Some witnesses saw her dancing. Now, this is something that a lot of them say, so I do take this one as probably
I know exactly what you're going to say.
Some witnesses say they saw her dancing with a homeless man in an alley.
She was.
So she was like dancing, singing. They were having a great time. Like she was having her own little party in the alley.
Have you ever walked home drunk through the streets of Boston?
Yes.
You'll end up singing with a homeless man.
Yeah, I mean, sure.
There's one specific homeless man that sings a song about your outfit these days.
I love that.
I love him so much.
They also saw her walking down Tremont Street, and some people said they saw her getting into a gray car with as many as 4 guys in it, like that original report about the gray Mitsubishi that her male friend said he saw her in. Ugh. So it is interesting that a gray car gets brought into this a few times, because it is always interesting when there's one common thread that keeps, even if it changes slightly, that it's in there.
Right.
Witnesses said they heard them, the ones that saw the men in the car said that they saw these guys trying to get her to come to an after party with them.
Okay.
But again, they also saw her on Tremont Street. They saw her dancing with a homeless man. Like, she was everywhere.
Right.
It should be noted that at this time of night, when the bars are closing and everyone is pouring onto the streets, it's fucking mayhem.
Oh, yeah.
It's hell. It's hell. Driving through there when the bars let out is a fucking nightmare that everyone from Boston has endured at one point or another. There's drunk people slamming on cars.
Yep.
They're walking in front of cars. They're trying to get taxis and Ubers. They're fighting. It's insane.
It's my favorite. That used to be my favorite.
Oh, it's sure. It's your favorite when you're part of it.
Yeah.
When you're trying to drive through it,
I've never been on that
nobody
end.
will tell you that's their favorite. If you're trying to drive through that mayhem, it is horrific. So bars close around 2 a.m. though. So around 3 a.m. it wouldn't have been quite as chaotic. It would have probably just been like leftover drunk people.
Right.
She was alive at 3 a.m. Witnesses saw her and she was speaking to, at 3 a.m., witnesses said they saw her speaking to a man named Herb Whitten. He was known around as the guy who wore a Superman shirt and had the same shirt for his dog. And that night he was wearing the Superman shirt. His dog was also there. His dog is a large white Pyrenees. They wore matching shirts because he said he thought it would help him pick up ladies.
Okay.
I mean, interesting approach.
It's a good conversation starter. I don't know if I'm going to
sure
go home
is.
with you because of it, but
the weird thing is too that he lived in Andover, so he lived
that's pretty
over
far.
half an hour north of Boston.
Right.
So he would say he would come down when the bars were closing with his dog, so he could start like trying to pick up drunk girls. And it's like, okay, so wait, at 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. you're driving over 30 minutes with your dog to walk down the street and try to pick up ladies.
You know what? I'm here to say it. I'm here to state it for the record. That's a little skeevy.
It is. It's a little.
And by a
skeevy.
little,
It's
I mean
weird.
a lot.
Yeah. And again, he's going to become a suspect later. So we're going to talk about him tomorrow, but in further detail. But like, just we'll set that scene for you.
KK.
So witnesses said she left an alley with a big construction worker type in his 40s with wavy hair and a small dog.
Okay.
That was another thing they saw.
Okay.
So people are seeing her with 2 separate people with dogs. It's like, this gets weird.
And the dog that the Superman guy had, that was a big dog, right?
That was a large dog, apparently.
Yeah.
A
So you
large
can't
white
get the
dog.
2 swapped. Okay.
So witnesses also told police that Karina was seen in front of a Store 24 at Mass Ave and Haviland Street between 3:30 and 4 a.m. on Saturday, June 22nd.
Okay.
So now we're up to between 3:30 and 4.
Well, now she's like traveling like pretty quick.
Exactly.
That'd be a lot to walk.
Now, after her 3:30 to 4 a.m. sighting on Saturday, June 22nd, she's missing.
Right.
No one has any whereabouts of her. It was 30 hours from when she was last seen to when she was found on Sunday morning.
Oh, man.
Frank and Susan, the couple she was working for, had no idea initially that she was missing because it was the weekend. She
Right.
wasn't due to report to their home for work until Monday. And they aren't keeping tabs on her on the weekends, supposedly. So, like, why would they care?
Right.
June 23rd, which was Sunday, in the morning, a homeless man was digging in a dumpster behind 1091 Boylston Street. He was, looking for cans and bottles and, like, scraps, anything he was looking for. He went to pull out a big black trash bag and noticed it was super heavy.
Okay.
And he was about to toss it away, but then he was like, what the fuck is in here? Because he said it weighed over 40 pounds. And he was like, this is a huge thing. What is this? So,
Right.
of course, he's curious. He's like, what the fuck is this? Maybe it's a treasure. So he opens the bag and immediately sees a human arm.
I can't even
And-
imagine how terrifying that must be.
This human arm had nail polish on the fingernails. I mean, it was a clear human arm. He went hauling ass down Boylston Street for help, like screaming. Eventually got the police on the scene, and Detective Tommy O'Leary was first on the case.
Okay.
Which, it is not a Boston crime tale unless there's a detective named Tommy O'Leary.
Tommy
I mean,
O'Leary
that
is a hometown hero.
That's the most Boston.
Wicked.
I mean,
Wicked.
wicked. It's wicked Boston. What they discovered when they opened that bag was a true fucking nightmare. They found a body. Well, half a body.
Ugh.
Specifically, they found the top half of a woman's body. It had been completely washed and cleaned of makeup, blood, everything. It had been cleaned down.
That is
It had been
the most
in the-
terrifying thing.
I can't fathom.
Mm-mm.
And there was no blood, like there was no blood around, so this was clearly like a second crime scene, like they had brought her here, they hadn't killed her there.
The thought of somebody like taking off somebody's makeup and like cleaning them afterward, it freaks me the fuck out.
That is such another level of pathology with this killer.
And it's
And it's
also,
like-
I don't know, it just feels a little personal.
It does feel very personal.
I mean, it does make sense that like you don't want your DNA, so I could see how it's not personal, but it also
Yeah.
feels very personal.
Yeah, it really does. And so specifically, it had been sawed just above the hip bone, below the ribs, with what the medical examiner would later confirm was likely an electric power tool, and not a handsaw. Yeah. They thought it was probably a circular saw.
Oh my god.
The cut was neat and clean, except for one piece of the hip bone that was nicked.
Okay.
But other than that, it was a very clean cut. A couple of the sources I read said that she may have been alive up to 24 hours after last seen at the 4 a.m. hour, which would put her death at what could be as late as 3 a.m. Sunday. So there's
Okay.
a long period of time where she could have been alive.
Right, right.
There was evidence on her neck that she had been strangled, and that seemed like that was the cause of death. When the news reported the body, Frank and Susan called the police to say the body might be their au pairs. Now, there was a description of Karina on the news, but no photo, obviously, because she was unidentified at that point and just a torso. So why did Frank and Susan just all of a sudden be like, that must be Karina? Like, oh, a blonde girl in a dumpster?
That is weird. Maybe she normally did communicate with them over the weekend, and then because she didn't, they thought it was a little bit weird.
Yeah, I mean, they never came out and said that.
Yeah.
But it's a possibility. There's other reports that Frank called the morgue on Sunday when the reports were released to check to see if it was Karina. And either way, it's strange to me.
Or maybe he had gone over there on the weekend, like maybe he normally did, and she wasn't there, and that's why
There
they
you
called.
go. There's a whole mess of weirdness here.
Ash is always thinking.
Well, and so because of their connection to her and that they were essentially acting as family and employer to her,
Right.
they were, of course, the first to be questioned. Immediately, they became uncooperative and got a lawyer.
Oh, okay.
Immediately.
Well,
Now, the lawyer thing to me, that's just smart because, like, shit can get shady fast.
yeah.
So I can't fault them for wanting to get a lawyer. But being uncooperative is pretty bad in this case. Like,
Yeah.
You brought this girl from Sweden into your home, trusted her to raise your children, let her stay in your downtown loft for free. Like, when she's chopped in half and left in a dumpster, you should maybe cooperate with the police.
Why do you think they were being uncooperative?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I don't think it's a good idea either way. I mean, if they're guilty, that's a really bad idea.
Yeah.
And if they're innocent, it's a really bad idea. It's like, just, if you're guilty, at least fake it.
Do you think that they were perhaps uncooperative not because they're guilty of murdering her, but because they, or at least one of them, is guilty of the something terrible that happened and they didn't want that to be leaked out?
That's definitely, I think something terrible happened could possibly have to do with, my gut is telling me something to do with Frank, but
yeah.
I obviously have no basis for that except for my own speculation.
Right.
It could also be that they hired her through illegal means, so maybe they're trying to keep their head above water there.
Yep, I was going to ask that
I don't
too.
really know. But then what's weird is on Monday, the day after her body's discovery, suddenly there's a strange fire in Dover, in a dumpster, right behind Frank and Susan's house.
That is a little weird.
Yeah, so the authorities are called, and after putting it out, they try to determine if there's, like, any kind of evidence that could lead to Karina. Because at this point, they're already like, excuse me. Nothing in the dumpster led to her, but there's nothing that says how burned everything was, or if they could tell with 100% certainty that there was nothing that belonged to Karina.
Right.
They didn't find remains, like human remains.
Right, because that's detectable.
Yeah, but they didn't find, it's not like you could tell if maybe her belongings were torched.
Right.
Maybe something was. So again, we're going to go further into like our thoughts on that in the next episode. But they then talked to the last person that she was seen with, which was the homeless man who she was seen dancing and singing with.
Okay.
This was after she got kicked out of the bar. His name was Juan Polo, and he was probably interviewed, I'm assuming, as like a formality.
Yeah.
Because he clearly didn't have the means or location to perform a bisection cleanly.
Right.
Clean the blood and body and then dispose of it in 2 different locations, it seems like.
They probably just wanted to see like if she went off with somebody after dancing with him or blah, blah, blah.
And obviously she's one of the last people to see her. They have to go talk to him. They got to get that information. But I'm assuming they weren't really looking at him as the guy who did it.
Yeah.
He later in interviews said that he tried to tell her to find her friends and not be alone that night.
Aww.
And he said, quote, "She was so sweet, such a nice person, an angel."
Oh, that makes my heart hurt.
Doesn't that just like, oh, because it sounds like she was like dancing with him, having a good time. So what's weird to me too with this next suspect, so the next suspects, I'm sure everybody's wondering, what happened to the guy with the Superman shirt and the dog?
Yep, Superman. What
happened to Herb? So he was actually stopped that night by the police on the way home.
Right.
He got a speeding ticket. He was on his way home to Andover.
Why you speeding at 3 a.m., boy?
Yeah, and it's pretty strange again to drive to Boston, like over a half hour away, just without construction, which is never the case. There's always construction on the way to Boston. So
always.
Just to walk your dog at 3 a.m. to pick up girls. Like, that's a little weird.
It's bizarre.
Either way, he got a speeding ticket, which is pointed to as his alibi.
Which
like, that's how
cannot
they
necessarily be an alibi.
Because what if she's in the trunk?
And how many times have we heard that happen?
Exactly. And it's like, so you're not going to search the car for a speeding ticket. And I didn't see anything about them searching his car. I never read anything about him searching his car.
Right.
And honestly, what reason would they have?
Yeah.
And if she was alive up to 24 hours after she was last seen, she was alive at this point.
Right. She could have been in the trunk.
It's very easy because they look at it as, okay, he got a speeding ticket at this time, so there's no way that he could have killed her and done this before he left. And it's like, okay, well, the dude comes into Boston at 3 a.m. every fucking weekend just to pick up chicks with his dog. So what is it? Why is it weird to assume that he would bring her home, do what he has to do, and then drive back to dump her?
Right.
He does it all the time. Why?
Right.
Like, this is not a strange trip for him. She could have been gagged in the trunk. She could have been incapacitated, not able to scream. They would have never known she was there.
And she could have been passed out in the trunk. Who knows? Because she was so inebriated, she could have passed out.
Exactly. That's the thing. So it's like, you're totally right, because she's already passed out twice. It's
exactly.
Like, there's a lot of things that could have been happening here. So this man, Herb, actually, this is where it gets very weird. He was cleared after this alibi, all that. About 6 months, between 6 months and less than a year later, he completed suicide.
Right.
On Web Sleuths, someone claiming to have lived next door to him at the time. They had a lot of information about it. They said he saw the ME and police show up to the suicide scene. And when he asked the officer, like, what was going on, because it was his neighbor, the officer said it wasn't likely a suicide because it was very violent, the scene in the home. But then there was no mention of this anywhere in news reports later.
That's weird.
I'm like, a cover-up, perhaps? Because everything I read said that he slit his own throat.
Okay.
But it's like,
That's
is
not
there a cover-up going on
violent of a crime till it, like, clean up, I would think.
It's very odd. It just sounds, all of this is very strange. And so they have, I know I said I wasn't going to go into the suspects, but I think we're just not going to, like, discuss the theories in depth, really.
Yeah.
But I want to, like, put them out there so you can all, like, kind of munch on them.
Think about them for a minute.
So this is when they start kind of grasping at straws a bit, because leads are not panning out.
Right.
They're looking at, I mean, so far the employers are acting strange. They're uncooperative.
But there's not
They've
much
hired
else to
a
go
lawyer,
on.
but they don't have anything on them. And it's like, so what can they do? We're looking at Herb. Well, now he completed suicide. And also they had cleared him already after his speeding ticket alibi, apparently. So this one confuses me. So they started looking at a suspect who lived close by to where Karina was found. This new suspect was a guy by the name of John. I don't know how to say his name. Zewiz?
How is it spelled?
Zewizz.
Zewis?
Zewis? It sounds good. Well, his real name is John McSweeney, but that's not metal, and that's what he was going for.
For real?
He was a member of a band called Sleep Chamber. Sleep Chamber, by my research, is labeled as an industrial techno tribal band.
Aren't we all?
Doesn't this this immediately reminded me of the Parks and Rec episode where Leslie goes to that radio station and the guy is like, now for the lesbian Afro-Norwegian folk duo, Nefertiti's Fjord.
That's exactly what that's like. I forgot about that episode.
That's literally, I immediately thought of it.
That's it.
Nefertiti's Fjord.
That's great.
But it's real, so that's fun. Like, this is a real band.
Can you say what they describe themselves as again, just one more time?
They describe themselves, or they are described as industrial techno tribal.
Okay. I like it. I'm here for it.
And the themes of their music, as well as John's personal image and persona, are centered around things like S&M and bondage. He loved dabbling in magic and learning about the occult. He was just like, by all means, kind of like a strange dude by normies' accounts, you know?
Okay.
So
that's a vibe.
This band even had fetish stage dancers that they would bring on tour called the Barbiturates. That's what they called the dancers.
The Barbiturates.
I fell into like a hole reading about this guy. I was like, what the fuck?
I feel like who wouldn't?
It's amazing. Honestly, nothing is really like bad here so far. It's just like strange.
Yeah.
Normal society, I suppose.
For a norm.
But in normal society, S&M and bondage are consensual when done correctly. And magic and the occult are not signs of a like murderer. You know, like this is just... I think his proximity to the dump site, he had a known heroin addiction for years. He had a couple of run-ins with the law, nothing like violent, it seems, from what I looked. And his taste for the strange and unusual definitely marked him as a person of interest. But you kind of feel bad because, like, he kind of just got sucked into it.
And he was obviously struggling.
Yeah, he was struggling. They never actually charged him or labeled him as like an actual suspect. It was just that they brought him in for questioning, and then he kind of got labeled. Like the stigma happened.
That sucks.
And people even pointed to a lyric in a song he released after Karina's murder, and it had a line about hanging at Zanzibar's, but like it was Boston in the 90s and he lived near Zanzibar.
I was going to say he lived right there.
So it's like, of course. He was cleared. He was never arrested for it or anything, but people obviously still talk about if he could be part of it. Because he's made like strange interviews and stuff where I think he's just like a strange guy. So he just talks about weird shit and people are like,
I mean, whatever.
But, you know. So going back to the fact that she did briefly date a Boston cop and that it seems like there's just no leads or no evidence of anything. They can't find anything. They can't find the crime scene. They can't find her bottom half. They had no DNA, nothing. Boston PD in the 90s was corrupt as fuck.
It was say.
Yeah, it was just not by their own, like, these are their own quotes about their
shit
department in the 90s. One quote says, "The hallmark values of the operating culture are self-interest, resentment, and suspicion.
Love that.
We have no defined mission. Everything goes into a black hole.
Okay.
And the only standards around here are double standards."
Awesome. Perfect.
Yeah. They were very much into the we cover each other's back, very much into I want that suspect to be the guy, so I'm gonna make it so with the evidence kind of thing. Like, it was very not a good situation.
It doesn't sound like
so
it.
When they come out and say that, she dated a Boston police officer briefly, we're not, that's fine. He was cleared. Everything was fine. And it's like, yeah, like, I'm not saying he did it, but like,
why was
I'd
he
like
cleared
to know
so
more
quick?
about that. Yeah, like, can you tell me a little more about it? Because I don't know about that. And so basically now, after all of these people are getting questioned, everything's happening, that's it. There's nothing.
Damn.
There's nothing after that. It went cold, and that's it. And now that all there is there's just theories about what could have possibly been happening. Was the terrible thing and I'm just going to sneak this in here, and we'll definitely get further into it tomorrow, but was this terrible thing that happened, a sexual assault of some sort?
Right.
Was she possibly pregnant, or did she think she was pregnant, and that's why she was sawed in half to remove any evidence of a pregnancy?
Yep.
You can remove a uterus by sawing someone in half. And it's like they were washed clean. She was washed clean, and she, that was removing any kind of DNA. There's a lot of different theories of what could have possibly been happening here. And like I said, a lot of au pairs that worked for Frank Rapp or knew of him, basically all of them said he's very creepy.
Okay.
Like, he acts very creepy to us. Like, that was the general consensus.
We don't love that. We hate that.
Yeah, definitely not. And so eventually Karina was sent home to Sweden. Her body was sent home.
Glad.
So her family could have a proper burial. And at her funeral, everyone wore brightly colored happy clothing.
Oh.
Because they were like, that's just who she was. She would have wanted that. They didn't want to mourn her loss with dark, sad colors, because they said, like, she was just a rainbow in life.
Stop.
Like, yeah. And a really sad, like, kick in the gut.
Great.
Is Detective Tommy O'Leary, who worked this case, said to the Boston Herald about this, that when he talked to her father and said, we're shipping her back to you, her father said, "What am I getting back?"
Oh, God.
And he said he was, like, absolutely stunned. He was like, fuck, I didn't know I was going to have to answer this.
Right.
And he said, quote, "You're getting her upper torso. You're getting her beautiful face."
Oh, my
Isn't
heart.
that just like, oh, like,
yeah, that's a
that
lot.
hurts my soul. I know. And from what I can tell, this wasn't someone that's like, to me, it doesn't seem like some unhinged crime.
It seems methodical to you.
It seems very calculated.
It seems personal
seems like
to
someone
me.
who is, I don't want to say in control, but like in control. It sounds like somebody who, they strangled her.
Yeah.
They didn't mutilate her in the sense of like they cut her in half, but I think that was for a purpose. That was to hide something.
Why else would you need to do
remove
that?
Something.
And
Yeah.
strangulation, not to keep being like personal, but strangulation is a
That
very
is very
personal way
personal.
of murdering somebody.
It certainly is. I mean, of course, strangers will do it too, but like in general, it's a very personal thing to do to someone, and it doesn't mutilate their face. It doesn't, it doesn't draw blood generally, and it just seems to me like this is someone if they really took a power tool to saw her in half, and they did it in a very clean way where the only bone they were going to have to cut through is the spine. Mm-hmm. And, it's,
you would
to
think
me,
you
that just
prepare
seems
for
like,
that.
Yeah.
Or
to
you've done it
clean
before.
An unhinged person is going to saw someone in half with a fucking handsaw. It's going to be jagged. It's going to be fucked. There's going to be blood everywhere. That person's going to be mangled, and they're just going to toss them in a dumpster.
It reminds me of the Black Dahlia case.
It does. It's kind of like the Black Dahlia, where it's like, but then it differs from the Black Dahlia, and I think our guest tomorrow will be able to go into this a little further. But it differs from the Black Dahlia because the Black Dahlia was like posed out in the open
when everything
there was a message
was
being
there.
sent.
Yep.
But she was put in a trash bag and put in a dumpster in an alleyway in Boylston to hopefully not be
Get
found.
rid of. Right.
So it's a weird like dichotomy, but it also kind of rings very familiar to each other.
Right.
You know, it's weird. But to me, the pathology of this person is that they are in control.
Yes.
That they are unhinged in some way.
In their
but, like,
psyche.
they are in control of the process.
I think you're right.
Which to me, I don't know. I don't know enough about herb. I don't know enough about, you know, there's just not a lot to go on here.
Right.
It's
That's
like
the thing.
Really, what's another weird thing is that Susan Nichter, the wife, Frank's wife, she's a painter, like I said before, and her site is now, her artist site is now down now, and it's been down since like 2018 or something. But there was a lot of talk about the paintings that she would paint, because she has a ton of paintings, and apparently there are a few that certainly look like Karina, and a few of them have a lot of themes that make it look like half of a body and somebody, you know, running away from a man.
Yeah, that's a
and
lot.
Just very creepy themes that seem to be like, a lot of people look at it and they're like, I'm disturbed by that, and it kind of looks like you're painting what happened.
Right.
To me, and again, we'll talk about it tomorrow, but like, to me, I'm like, I can go either way with that.
Well, because art can be like an escape for some people and like a therapeutic tool, so I think you could argue that side of it.
Exactly. Because she knew this person.
I mean, this girl lived at her house for 4 months. I mean,
yeah, and who knows
and was
what her
helping with her
relationship
children and
with her was. So
Right.
it's like, she could be in her mind, and she could subconsciously be painting a woman that resembles her, because that's
Right.
just a trauma that she's dealing with still.
Yep.
Like, or it could be her way of getting out the trauma of what actually happened, that she knows what happened. It's
Yep.
like, and a lot of people think that could be it. You can't see her paintings anymore, which bummed me out, because
that sucks.
yeah, but I'll look and see if anybody has them somewhere. But
Underground.
like, yeah, but so that's basically what we have on Karina right now for the general like overview of the case.
Okay.
Because again, that's all the details I could find. Anything else was kind of hearsay, and I don't want to be putting out like bullshit rumors.
No, we don't.
So what we're going to do is we will end here, and tomorrow with our guest, we're going to go back over the suspects. We're going to hear what they have to say. We're going to talk about the theories and all that good stuff.
I'm into it.
I'm excited.
Me too. And in the meantime, why don't you guys go ahead and follow us on Instagram?
At Morbid Podcast.
Follow us on Twitter.
At A Morbid Podcast.
Follow us on Spotify by typing in Morbid, a true crime podcast, and hitting the little follow button when you're prompted.
Do it. Follow us there.
Also, did you know that Spotify has free podcasts?
Yeah, you don't have to pay anything to listen to podcasts on Spotify.
Even if you don't have premium, it's free.
Yeah, do it.
Send us an email about your listen to tales or your day.
Morbidpodcast@gmail.com.
And join the Facebook group.
Morbid: a true crime podcast.
We hope you keep listening.
And we hope you
Keep
it weird.
but not so weird that you try to go out in your fun fancy pants and you don't have a good time.
Yeah, and not so weird that you chop someone in half. That's not cool.
Not that fucking weird.
That's real weird.
That's for sure.
Bye.
Bye.
I'm Lindsay, and in my line of work as an investigator, I'm always looking out for other people. Getting my diagnosis didn't really change that, but it did make me realize that I also need to keep an eye out for myself. So my doctor and I decided to start on Kisqali ribociclib.
Lindsay is a real patient compensated for her time. Visit Kisqali.com. That's KISQALI.com to learn more. And ask your doctor if Kisqali ribociclib is right for you.